Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Sam and I make videos about makeup, chronic illness, and whatever I want. And today I would like to talk about chronic illness resources and support systems. To preface this, I mean resources as in connection rather than resources like doctors, etc. So I guess I could have used a better term, but I wasn't quite sure what else to call it, so we're gonna go with that. As a content creator, your job first and foremost is connecting with people. As a chronic illness content creator, I knew that I would have a lot of people who have been struggling alone, just recently diagnosed and confused, upset, struggling, not quite sure where to turn. People are very open to sharing their stories with me, which I think is really great. It's hard to be vulnerable with individuals, so I'm glad I can make people feel comfortable. But there are some times where I just don't know what to say, and it isn't because I don't care and I wish they weren't telling me. It's far from the truth. It's just sometimes there isn't really anything to say, and I know that a lot of people are not looking for advice or opinions. They're mostly just looking for someone to finally hear them and listen, and I'm more than willing to listen to people and their struggles, but I do have some people who are looking for advice, and as much as I appreciate you thinking I know that much, there's just a lot of stuff that I don't know, and that is where the chronic illness community is so helpful and wonderful, because there are other people who do know the things that I don't. Each of us in this situation is different. The illnesses, even if it's the same illness, are impacting us differently. And then on top of that, people do just have different illnesses than each other. Even if they have similar symptoms or side effects, it's going to manifest quite differently. And then it does make it kind of difficult for you to offer advice, because even if we have the same illness, it might not manifest the same in you as it does for me. So I might not understand your particular situation or symptoms. No two stories are the same. No two support systems are the same. Some people have incredibly supportive friends and families, and others feel very isolated, whether it's their family doesn't understand or they live far away from their family. Some of us have supportive doctors. Some of us are still looking, and that is an incredibly stressful situation as well. And some people don't even have the financial means to see a doctor, which adds a whole nother level of stress and confusion and need for support. This is going to be a short video because I would just like to share the communities that have really helped me blossom into where I'm at, and honestly gave me the motivation and desire to create this content in the first place. Because had I not seen that these communities existed, I would have thought that there was no reason to make these videos, and I would have strictly focused on beauty. But I like that I can do beauty with a spin and be able to help people, which is something I was always passionate about and wanted to make my career, but I'm too sick to have a career. So this is my way of being able to do the things I'm passionate about, and it's because these communities just uplifted me so much. The Reddit communities. Reddit is a big place, and there are a lot of bad, gross subreddits on there, don't get me wrong, but parts of Reddit are so great, and I've learned so much about myself and my illnesses and ways to help lessen symptoms from these communities. A few of my favorite subreddits are RCFS. I'm going to link all these below, by the way. This one is specifically for ME, CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome. It's very nice to be able to just talk about the illness, but also learn that some of your strange symptoms are actually common with other people. They're a community where you could just talk about things unrelated to CFS, maybe share a meme about being chronically ill or something like that. It's just a really nice place. The next one is our chronic illness. This is for all chronic illnesses. Obviously, if you don't have ME, CFS, you might not find that one very helpful. This one can be anything and everything from RA to MS to fibromyalgia to endometriosis to ME, CFS to POTS, etc. The next one, please forgive me for butchering this, I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to put it up here because, like, I can't say this word and I don't want to embarrass myself. This is any kind of disorder like POTS or vasovagal syncope, etc. So, autonomic nervous system dysfunction. This one is very helpful if you do have POTS or something of the like. I've learned a lot of ways to help keep that under control, like tricks for my electrolytes and things of that nature. That's actually where I got the idea to start monitoring my heart rate with a heart rate monitor. Our endo, this is for endometriosis, and I have learned a lot of symptoms that I thought were related to other things that are actually common with endometriosis. I've also learned a lot of helpful little tricks for the nausea and the cramping and things like that. Also, it's a great place to find like a list of doctors if you're looking for a doctor in your area that specializes. And the last one for me personally is our gluten-free. This has saved my skin. Also, our celiac. I'm not sure if I'm celiac, but it's very helpful to learn new recipes, foods that are good, foods that have sneaky gluten. People are super helpful and knowledgeable in those groups. Moving on to Instagram. Instagram is my personal favorite. I've made so many chronically ill friends. I have met so many amazing people who I interact with now on like multiple times a day. I can't imagine functioning without having them in my life. It's just truly a blessing to have found chronic illness community on Instagram. They're so supportive and kind and welcoming, and it's truly a magical place to be. You'll find a lot of tips, a lot of words of inspiration, a lot of people who just understand what you're going through and just want to uplift you and listen and support and believe you, which is very important. There's not like a link like there is in like Reddit, where there's specific subreddits. Just searching a hashtag with your illness or hashtag chronic illness, hashtag Spoonie. Any of those things will lead you to where you need to be. In not all of my posts, because brain fog, I forget to tag them, but in a lot of my Instagram posts, you will see in the comments that I have tagged a lot of the communities that I am part of, and so it's a great place to look for new friends, look for advice. It's just really great overall. The next one is EmiActNet. Both their website and their Instagram are full of research, petitions, advancements in science. Like, it'll keep you updated on like studies that have been done, research that has been done. It is just a great resource for information regarding ME/CFS, which I know not everyone here has, but a lot of us do. And if it isn't our only illness, it's definitely there anyway. And I think that this resource helped me understand my illness the best, because I was still kind of walking around in the dark, like not exactly knowing what to do. And I learned so much from them, and they do so much work to educate doctors and keep us from being like pushed to the side and told we have like a psychosomatic disorder or something like that. So check that out. I don't have any Facebook recommendations because, if I'm being honest, Facebook is a mostly a terrible place to be. I know not all of it is terrible, but that's where I see most of the fighting, most of the bullying. Like, it's just not a great place. I don't use it much at all. I have a Facebook page for my channel, and one that I just keep relatives on who don't know how to use other social media. I don't update it frequently. I just prefer to not be on Facebook. I can't speak for everything. I'm sure there are great ones. If you know any, please leave them in the comments, but it's just not a website that I particularly like to use. The same goes for Twitter. I know there's probably a lot of other influencers and websites, etc. If you know of any that I didn't list, please leave them in the comments. I'm also going to link in the description box a couple of my favorite friends or influencers in the chronic illness community. I do have friends who have a quite large following and are always posting very good information, so I would like to shout them out and bring attention to all the hard work that they're doing. The unfortunate thing is that because we're chronically ill and we're very limited on time and energy and resources, there aren't a ton of chronic illness creators. I know there's actually a few on TikTok. I don't remember. TikTok is also a great place, now that I'm saying this. The brain fog, right? I didn't write that in my notes. But there aren't a ton of us chronic illness creators, and I really have leaned into my chronic illness content. I do love beauty, and you'll still see that, but I know I'm doing a job that more people wish they could do, and they just can't. So because I can most of the time, even if it involves a lot of naps and resting, like I want to share what I can to help people in the situation like me. Like I said, please tell me anything, any resource, any website, person, place, thing that has been helpful to you, because I love to, one, just share it with anyone who sees this video, but also just get some more resources for myself, especially as I am kind of going down the rabbit hole of getting some new diagnoses. I have some new symptoms, some symptoms that were a lot less severe, that are a lot more severe, that don't line up with my current diagnoses. So I could use some resources, I could use some support as I'm getting ready to go into this very scary chapter of getting more answers for what's happening with my body. And with that, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I'm pretty sure I'm back to do videos a week. So I will see you guys next time.